Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shifty's 49ers Talk. In today's video, we are going to talk about Trey Lance's struggles so far through the first three practices of the 49ers 2022 training camp. We're going to talk about whether it's a cause for concern. Let's not waste any time, guys. Let's jump right in. As we look at Trey Lance's performance so far in training camp, look, they haven't been fantastic by any means. In today's practice, today being Friday, 4 for 11 interceptions, not ideal, obviously. But is it a cause for concern? I'm going to say absolutely not. When you see people freaking out on social media or what have you, I think that's really just, people being a little bit irrational right now. And they're not really taking a step back to be like, let's really analyze the situation. So I'm going to go through a couple of reasons for why it's not a concern at all. Now, some of these will probably sound like excuses, and maybe they are to a certain degree, but to me, I kind of see them more as explanations for why we're seeing what we're seeing, and then what we'd like to see Trey Lance improve on as we go through training camp and the rest of the offseason. Reason number one, so it always takes offenses much more time to gel, to get into a rhythm, to get into a groove than it does compared to the defenses. Typically, in order for the team to function efficiently, defenses are less complex in that matter compared to the offense. So it takes offenses a while. If you look across 32 teams, all the training camps, my bet is that in a majority of these ones, the defenses are coming out on top at this point. As training camp moves along, though, you'll see the offense start to pick up steam. So that's reason number one. It always takes offenses a little bit longer. Reason number two, if we look at the offense, probably the best two players on the offense are not out there, and that's Trent Williams and that's Deebo Samuel. We know about Trent Williams. I think he's going to be in the building very soon. He just had a newborn baby. Congrats to Trent Williams. And then Deebo Samuel has his contract issues. So once those two guys are back, that's going to be a huge boost for the offense and thus a huge boost for Trey Lance. Looking at reason number three, well, Trey Lance is obviously very, very inexperienced. He's going up against a defense that, to me, should finish in the top 5 in the NFL. So that's just naturally going to be really difficult. Now, when we look at it too, the pads are not on. So with regards to the running game, it's really hard to assess that so far. But, the offensive line is very much in flux. And this is something that was to be expected. Just like I mentioned, Trent Williams is out. Mike McGlinchey is only playing sporadically as he recovers from his injury. The interior of the offensive line, they are shuffling in and out. So it's natural when you have an offensive line that's in so much uncertainty right now, but that it will get resolved sooner rather than later, especially at the tackle positions, going up against a defensive line that is as talented and deep as the 49ers have. It's just going to make it incredibly difficult for any quarterback to function, let alone a very, very young quarterback like Trey Lance. And the last reason that I want to talk about that why I personally am not concerned, and that's because our head coach is Kyle freaking Shanahan, who is arguably maybe the best offensive mind in the NFL. Not only that, we brought in Anthony Lynn, who I think is going to bring a lot of value to the 49ers offensive coaching staff. So ultimately, they will get it figured out. If anyone can make it work, it's going to be Kyle Shanahan. And when we get all of our guys back, once they've had time to gel, I think you're going to start seeing this offense clicking a lot better. So really, and look, Trey Lance, I've said it, maybe 3 times in this video already. He's very, very young. He is going to make mistakes. Not only in training camp, he's going to make mistakes in the preseason games, and he's going to make mistakes in the regular season games. Every quarterback does. Maybe, there might be some struggles. There will be games where we're like, whew, Trey Lance, he didn't look so great out there, but that's just natural. That's just part of the development for a young quarterback like himself. I firmly do believe that Trey Lance is going to be a very, very good quarterback. He's in a great situation. He's got a lot of just natural talent. He seems to me like a natural leader, and he's got amazing coaching here in San Francisco. So I'm expecting big things out of Trey Lance. Ultimately, if we're seeing the same mistakes, the exact same plays, the exact same reads that he's making mistakes in these first 3 days of training camp, if we're seeing that at the end of training camp, through the season, if he's just the same mistake over and over and over again, then yes, that's absolutely a cause for concern. Right now, I'm really hoping, I'm kind of glad he's making these mistakes right now, when for the most part, it really doesn't count. So to me, I'd like to see, and I'd love to be a fly on the wall, but I'd love to see Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance and Brian Griese and Anthony Lynn break down the tape of what went wrong. I'd like to see Trey Lance, learn from those mistakes and then grow as a player. And I think Trey Lance is set up for such great success. The best situation maybe in the NFL for a young quarterback is right here in San Francisco. So I'm not concerned at all right now. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Leave your thoughts and comments on how you feel like Trey Lance has done so far in training camp. If you're concerned at all, if you are, let me know why. And then, as always, guys, like and subscribe. It really, really helps out the channel. And I notice every single like and subscription. But guys, I'm going to leave it right there. There's going to be more training camp videos coming up very soon. And at this point, I'm going to say 2 things. The butt counts. And then I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side.